friends, welcome to a brand new playthrough on the channel. My name is Schmitt Wylde, and this is Star Soldier for the NES. And given the nature of this game, I don't think it has a proper ending. Like, I don't know if you can actually beat this game, but because of this, I decided to do a quick playthrough of the game, and the main reason is because this game is this month. We are in January 2024, and this game was selected to be the main game for the Test Your Bits challenge from the Bits in Glory community. I've talked about this challenge numerous times in my channel on numerous videos like Ice Climber, Pinball, and a few others. And just to give you like sum up everything, the Test Your Bits challenge is a monthly challenge that we in the community do to see who gets the high score in a particular game. In this case, it's Star Soldier, and it's pretty easy. Everyone can participate. There are a few rules, but only to make sure that no one cheats and no one use save states and rewind features and whatnot. And overall, it's a very fun and very healthy challenge to be doing among friends. There are a few months that not a lot of people participate. Maybe people are busy that month. To be honest, it's kind of rare for me to participate in the last few months. But January kind of surprised me a little bit because a lot of people in the community decided to give it a shot. Even if it's just to have the score on the leaderboard, it's nice to have people actually playing the game and trying to participate, and hopefully it's gonna stay like this throughout the year. But let's talk a little bit about the game, shall we? As you can see, it's a shoot 'em up, but I found it a little bit weird compared to other shoot 'em ups that I've played. I'm not very familiar with this genre on the NES. I think I've played Life Force before, but I've played the actual arcade version and never the NES version, so I'm pretty sure this is the first NES shoot 'em up that I've ever played, like for real. And yeah, like I said, I don't know what to think about it. Maybe it's this game that has a weird mechanic, or maybe it's something on the console itself. I'm not really sure. By the way, I play it on an emulator in this case because I don't own a actual NES, and this game is not available to play on the Nintendo Switch Online and other means of, to get a real game. So I had to resort to emulation, which it's not ideal, but for the purpose of this video and for the purpose of the challenge is okay, I guess. But yeah, like I was saying, I felt a little bit weird this shoot 'em up because it's very difficult. At least for me, it was very difficult for me to distinguish where you can fly and where you cannot fly. Usually on games like this, if you touch the sides of the stage, or if you touch the terrain, you explode, you die. But in this game, you kind of go under it, and if you go under it, you cannot shoot your weapon. So I felt it was a little bit difficult to understand what was going on. But that was just a first impression, because once you get used to the game, once you play a little bit more and more, you understand how the game is played. Like many shoot 'em ups, you start with a very lousy weapon, but you can get power-ups. In this case, you get power-ups by destroying some environmental blocks and not the enemies itself. So if you know where they are, you can pretty much build a strategy to get the power-ups early and fast. I kinda took a little time to understand that mechanic, but eventually I did. But I did not master it, as you will see in the footage that I recorded. The challenge that I participated in had a rule that we couldn't use a turbo controller. So for the purpose of the challenge and for the purpose of me, like me personally, I'm gonna mark down in the timeline the footage that I did getting my highest score playing with a regular controller. Like I had to mash the button each time I wanted to shoot the weapon, and then I'm gonna have a high score, a separate high score, using a turbo controller. You would think the turbo controller would be cheating, and perhaps it is, but at least from my experience, I noticed that the turbo controller is only useful if you have the power-up version of your weapon. My phone ringing. It's only useful if you have the power. I forgot what I was gonna say. If you had your weapon power up 3 times, where you can shoot like 3 shots in front of you and 2 shots in the back. With the turbo controller, it's very, very overpowered and you can pretty much obliterate everyone. You just need to pay attention at the projectiles that come your way so you can avoid them. And when you use the regular weapon with the turbo controller, is one of those cases that I feel you don't deal enough damage. Like if there's too many projectiles, your projectiles on screen, it feels like you are not hitting with all of them, so you end up not dealing all the damage that you could. So my strategy with the turbo controller was to disable it when I had the regular weapon, but once I had the power up, I would activate the turbo controller and would be, I was gonna say, a piece of cake, but it actually isn't that easy of a game, even with the turbo controller. So keep that in mind. This game is not that easy, but maybe it's one of those cases where you can, if you keep practicing, you will get good at it. For example, I think Wayward Spartan and Camp Hunat, the 2 players from the Tester Beats challenge this month, they got, I think, 2000k plus, score pretty easily using playing without a turbo controller, and I got the score that I did using the turbo controller very, very what's the word that I'm gonna use here? Like, it was very difficult for me to get that score, so at least for me it wasn't too easy of a game. I feel like if I maybe give more of a chance, if I practice more, maybe my score would be better. But to be completely honest with you guys, I'm happy with what I did, what I achieved, and I'm just happy to be able to participate in the challenge. And I think I've said it before, but it's worth saying it again. These challenges are great because it gives me the opportunity to play games that I otherwise wouldn't play it. Like, there are a lot of games that I've never even heard about. This one is one of them, and it gives me the opportunity it gives me a reason to play games that I otherwise wouldn't play it. So that's the main reason that I like these challenges. But without further ado, I've talked too much already. I'm gonna leave you off with the footage of me playing with the regular controller, and then a footage of me playing with the turbo controller. I hope you've enjoyed. If you liked the video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. I'll answer everyone, and I hope to see you all next time. Have a good one, and as always, take care.